Hi, this is Travis Lindsay. We're here at the Tyler Internal Medical Clinic in Tyler, Texas, and talking today with Jason. And Jason, you're a patient of Dr. Bradley, correct?
Correct.
How long have you been seeing Dr. Bradley?
I've known Dr. Bradley for probably about a year and a half.
Okay. Did you just, out of curiosity, did somebody refer you to Dr. Bradley, or did you know him, or?
I've just known him
Okay.
through different relationships we've had. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, obviously we're here to talk about Max products. Just kind of tell me briefly, what was your introduction to the Max products, or how did that process take place? Did Bradley refer it to you?
Well, actually, somebody else that is another patient of Dr. Bradley's actually was talking with us. And she was saying all the great things about Max GXL, how great it was, all the benefits she was having. And, you know, typically when something like that happens, you don't really, you know, it could be just that one person's opinion of it all, really high
Correct.
opinion. Maybe they're trying to sell you on it, you know. So we were kind of skeptical, but I ended up talking with Dr. Bradley, and within probably 15 minutes of talking to him, I was sold that this was the real deal.
I can't believe it took you 15. Usually it's 5.
He, we talked with him, we had some meetings with him, and we ended up, he gave me a sample bottle of Max ATP, and that's when he said, try this a couple hours before, you know, any strenuous activity or whatever that you do. One of my hobbies that I like to do is I like to go mountain biking.
Okay.
There's a course over by my house that it's about a 6-mile trail, 6-mile course, and it typically takes me an hour to go from my house to do this course and then back to my house. And I'm always tired at the end of it, really high heart rates, just everything involved with mountain biking.
6-mile mountain bike course is pretty good. That's an hour is pretty good to do that anyway.
Exactly. And I mean, you should be fatigued at the end of that.
Sure.
That should be a good workout. And so he told me to try Max ATP. I tried it, took it about 2 hours before I went riding, and then I went out on the course. And I actually shaved 15 minutes off my course time. I was there and back in 45 minutes. My heart rate was lower. I had more energy. I wasn't fatigued, and I was ready to go again. That's my testimony.
So in doing this course for an hour, how long had you been consecutively doing that to know that an hour is pretty much the time that it took prior to ATP to accomplish that course and get back home?
Probably about 3 months.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How often a month do you do that?
About twice a week.
Okay. So you've done that enough to know that's
what it
pretty
takes.
significant amount of time. That's what it takes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Barring crashing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So 15 minutes, that's a pretty big difference.
That's 25% off your time.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you take that and take it out into a longer trail, say if you're, you know, if you were doing an Ironman, you know, what do they do, like 60 miles?
Yeah.
Figure take 25% off your time. I'm not saying you're going to get 25% off your time, but if you could take time off, you know, I'm getting flustered here.
Well,
You
from
could-
a competitive nature, that's
Exactly.
a huge difference.
Exactly.
Or the standpoint, yeah, that is awesome. Well, now, were you just taking ATP? Were you taking GXL in conjunction with, or
Nothing else. I
Just
just took
ATP.
one ATP.
is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, since that time, are you still taking ATP? Have you gone to started taking GXL?
If I do something strenuous that I know it's going to take me a long time, like bike riding, there's another course here that's 12 miles, and I'll take ATP with it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the 12-mile course, has that become easier with ATP?
Much easier.
Okay.
I'm not typically, because I'm used to riding the 6-mile course, about halfway through the course, the 12-mile course, I'll start to get fatigued and tired because that's what I've trained for. But on the 12-mile course, I'm actually not as fatigued. I can actually do the course longer, better, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
But the biggest part for me was no downtime at the end. Doing a you know, 1 hour, 2 hour workout like that, I mean, you're very, very fatigued and you're kind of ruined for the rest of the day.
Correct.
But with this, I wasn't ruined. I was able to keep going. It was like I just felt energized. I wasn't fatigued.
Well, and I've heard that, you know, before, and I work with several athletes, I noticed that myself. the stamina is better. You know, obviously the recuperation is better. I work with some NBA athletes, some kids that play basketball, just you know, at a high school level, collegiate level, whatever. And sometimes they're playing several games through the day, and that's the one thing that I hear, that they're not cramping at the end of it. You know, the ability for them to recover is just much better. I work with several referees that will literally run 5-6 miles a game as they're reffing a game. Some of them have to take an hour of massage time and just to get the lactic acid and cramps out of their legs that have been alleviated either with Max 1 or ATP. So that's a big thing. Now, are you just taking ATP, or have you started taking GXL?
Just ATP.
Okay. Well, very good. So I think, as we just spoke of, you need to try them. I'm curious to see with Max 1. ATP has more ribose for energy in that compound, but Max 1 has 5 times the dosage of ribosine in it.
Wow.
So that glutathione increase in recovery time should be, I would say, at least equal to, if not, it should be better, I would say. So you'll have to definitely give me a report. Maybe you can shave 30-40% off at that time. We'll see. Another benefit that I've seen, have you, and this is just out of sheer curiosity, have you had any accidents, wrecks on your bike, and any injuries because of that?
Going faster?
Well, no, just through the process. Kind of what I'm getting at is I have seen injuries from one degree or another, different sports, that well, we've got several NFL players that I talk to, and they're, as they tell me, playing an NFL game is like being in a car wreck head on at 30 miles an hour 30 times in the course of a day. So injuries occur, and obviously, you know, a lot of problems that they have noticed. The recovery time, not only from a workout standpoint, but from an injury standpoint, has increased. Have you experienced anything like that from a biking? You just don't crash, huh?
No, I try to be pretty careful when it comes to that. Probably the biggest thing I noticed was my heart rate. I normally monitor my heart rate while I'm riding. Once, you know, according to all the statistics, I should be around 150 beats per minute heart rate.
Correct.
And typically when I bike ride, I go pretty hard. I'm in the 170 to 180 range. I'll even hit 190 at times. When I did max ATP, I was actually down to around 145.
Is that right?
So my heart rate was lower, and it just seemed like I didn't have to work as hard to get the same result.
Well, I like that you mentioned that, because I know as I've given ATP, in fact, I stopped calling it an energy drink now, because I have had some concerns of people that say, well, I can't drink an energy drink because it raises my blood pressure, my heart rate goes up too high, because it's working on the adrenals. ATP produces ATP, so it doesn't have that same effect. Have you had the experience drinking an energy drink and then gone out and riding and seeing how your heart rate increases versus ATP?
Yes, I used to actually drink a lot of energy drinks, a lot of the Red Bulls, the Monsters, the whole 9 yards. And I always get, first off, I get the shakes. Very, very nervous. I'd get, my anxiety level would go up. I wouldn't be able to sleep until 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and then it would be a fitful sleep. I mean, just everything associated with energy drinks. But with max ATP, you still have the same level of alertness and energy, but it's not the same kind of anxiety-based energy that typical energy drinks have.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, my heart rate and my, it wouldn't go up compared to an energy drink.
Yeah. Well, that's an awesome thing, again, because that's what that product gives people, the ability to perform better, recover better, and it kind of falls into a segment of people that can't take those energy. They want the increase in performance, but they can't drink the energy drinks. They shouldn't anyway, because again, they are bad for you. But it allows them to have that same performance increase without damaging the heart. A lot of cardiovascular disease that's been seen, even in young kids, teenagers, that have been drinking the energy drinks.
Yeah.
You know, because your body's creating exhaust into waste if you don't have the ability to deal with it, as ATP does.
Mm-hmm.
You're causing problems, so that's cool.
And you don't have the, I'm sure your heart's just going 90 miles an hour the
Yeah.
entire time.
Well, it is. So yeah, and it's a false energy. So you know that will come back to haunt you at some point, some
Right.
sooner or some later. So that's a good thing.
Exactly.
Well, listen, appreciate you taking your time to come by and talk to us, and
Yeah, absolutely.
tell Bradley to get you on Max One, and let me know how. I'm curious to see if your time increases anymore. Crash once for us and see if you recover too. All right, Jason. Thanks.
All right, I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.